John to sign that ahead of time or not, so.
Would you like it read?
It doesn't make any difference to me. I mean, maybe I should go ahead and read it.
Oh, thank you.
I had to switch in the hobby here.
Thought I had a blue pen. Keeps the little pen. Hang on, I might have one right here. I got one. I hid one. What's that?
Mr. Downs was going to be joined by phone.
Mm-hmm. Is that yours or mine?
That one must be mine.
I don't know. Oh, here it is. I got it.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, April 1st, 2026. We're here for the Franklin County Commissioners meeting. I will now call the meeting to order and ask that you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adoption of current agenda.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Need to pull item number B from regular business as our administrator is not able to be with us today. He asked that we pull that item. And then would just like to ask that we sign letters of appreciation to the Benton Franklin Council of Government, the Port of Pasco, and TRIDEC for sponsoring the Federal Partners Coalition meeting that we had last week.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. Public comment. Is there anyone in the room today for public comment? If so, please come forward, state your name, and you have 3 minutes. Yes.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Be here. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
My name's Janice Olson, this is Robin Hay, and we are former members of the Franklin County Junior Posse, and this was a youth horseback group that existed through the 50s, 60s, and 70s here in Franklin County. And, and it was run by parent volunteers. What we're asking of you is just permission to put a display in your display case down the hall. That's why we're here, to do that. And I'll hand it over to Robin.
Okay. I'm just going to talk about a few things that we did in the junior posse. I feel like it really prepared us for life, a little bit like 4-H does with kids. We had leadership roles, learned about parliamentary procedure, monthly meetings. We gave back to the community, going on rides with a companion, and we collected for the American Heart Association. We sponsored trail rides, play days, horse shows at the Franklin County Saddle Club. And although the group is defunct, I think it had a great role in the learning and growing up of many people in Franklin County. And so we're just hoping that you would allow us to put a display in the case. Right now, we're going to put it at the Saddle Club. If anybody's interested, they're welcome to come and see it when a show is happening. But after that, we would love to have a display here for people to see.
Although we're looking quite a ways into the future for this display here at the courthouse, it would probably be October 2027, because we have other things lined up before that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good morning. I'm Judge Stam, and I wanted to just come here today and try to give an update about where we're at in the creation of the new Franklin County Juvenile Court. I just wanted to let you guys know that we have received a copy of the resolution. We have people working together to get that budget put together and as part of the Franklin County budgeting process. The court has selected a new juvenile court administrator. Her name is Brittany Roski. She and I will be working closely together with members of Franklin County and with the state and with our cohorts in Benton County to transfer services here and employees here. So we have selected our leader. From there, we're going to start looking at the next steps. We're going to have to get an outline of all the things that we're going to get done in the next 60 days. What we need is, well, what I'm going to have to ask for is for somebody to tell me who I need to speak with. We got a tour of the space a couple weeks ago, but we have lots of people who also want to see that space again. And so I'll talk to people who I can get a hold of them so that we can get more eyes on that space and get what we need for that space for juvenile court staff and for what we need for space. The other thing is the agreement to delegate detention. We have sent the commissioners a draft of that. We haven't received anything back, so I just don't want to let that go to the last minute, but we are looking for any feedback on that agreement because that's the next step that we're going to need to get done working through this process as we move closer to June 1. My intention is when I can, I will come to these meetings and let people know where we're at on our transition, and just wanted to let you guys know I will try to do that when I can. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I believe Mr. Danzel's on the phone. Could we make sure that he is and he heard that?
Brian, can you hear us?
Pardon me. Yes, I could hear that.
Okay.
If you can hear me.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Danzel is out sick, terribly sick, and he and we all thought that it'd be best if he didn't bring the germs to the courthouse, so
We appreciate
he's at
it.
home.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Marcy Torres, and again, I'm here to make you guys aware of the things that are going on in our family court. This is ridiculous, to say the least. I have Miss Jackie Stam's oath of office right here. I do solemnly swear that I am a citizen of the United States and of the state of Washington, that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States, faithfully, diligently, and impartially perform the duties of the office of Superior Court Judge, Position 6 of the state of Washington in and for Benton and Franklin counties, and such duties as prescribed by law. This isn't being followed. I have cases where Mrs. Stam has given custody to men who have disclosed in a public hearing that they were masturbating in front of their 3-year-old daughters. This is disgusting. And this needs to stop. This is not just one judge. The only judge I've heard anything good from just resigned, and that should raise a big red flag. Diana Ruff. And I can attest to that because she has been over my case before. And she takes into consideration all evidence. She reviews the files. But when you have families coming into court and there's a different judge every single time, and no one's reviewing, doing their due diligence of what the job requires for them to review the case and review the history, you have children being torn apart. And then we have commissioners and judges coming in here and asking for tax dollars for more funding to help our community. How are we helping the community if we're tearing apart our children, our youth? If we're bankrupting moms in court, where are you guys gonna get taxes from to fund all of this? If you're bankrupting parents, do you think that our children, after you've mentally damaged them through this whole court process, that they're gonna be able to hold a job? That's why we have a problem with our youth. A lot of them are 24, 25. They can't even hold a job. This is ridiculous. We're bankrupting our own communities, and this is not okay. And we have people making $230,000, $240,000 who are not doing their job, and it's totally okay. It's not. And as a citizen of this community, I'm here because I care, because I want our children to be good members of society. But when we're giving them to abusers and to pedophiles, that is not okay. Thank you. Before I end, can I have everyone stand up who has lost a child? Either you're related to someone or a false protection order was filed.
Pardon me?
Mary, can you stand up?
Okay, this is not appropriate for this court.
Hi, I'm Phoenix Bird. I'm here today to follow up on this issue with parenting plans that are demonstratively damaging to our community. I did a little bit of research. It is costing our community over $1.3 million in domestic violence services right now. And honestly, I think that's sad, that our own hard-earned money is going to fund things that really I'd like to believe that we have more positive solutions to. I want to read a few things to you. I have a Guardian at Lion report that was done a decade ago. In this case, father is the respondent, mom is a petitioner. Petitioner has been profoundly affected by the relationship she has had with the respondent. His behaviors are very disturbing, and this poses a great risk not only to mom and her but to the children as well. It is concerning that his emotional abuse of control, manipulation, mind games are a means of his way to continue to control his wife. The Power and Control wheel shows great insight on this pattern of abuse. It is my professional opinion that this relationship has taken a toll on mom. It is my belief that she will need to have extensive mental health counseling to address these unresolved issues. The parenting plan entered at that time gave mom primary residential custody. Dad had engaged in a shooting of himself, videotaping it, and sending it to his mom to psychologically punish her. So Dad's parenting plan states that father may not possess any firearms unless or until his right to do so is restored by a court of competent jurisdiction. Dad may also not consume any alcohol or marijuana during visits with the children, and father must follow through with his appointments with psychiatrists to review his current medical plan, because he was found not to be following his medical care. And there further shall be no contact between the parties with exception to communication via text, email, or letter about the children only. And then in December of this year, through ongoing 10 years of litigation abuse, this respondent managed to convince one of our judges that the petitioner in this matter has severe mental, emotional issues, drug abuse, and everything. Give me a second here, because this is very difficult to read. That the mother, if when the children are ever in her care again, mother shall not consume alcohol or marijuana while the children are in her care, which she has never been found to have any problems with drug or alcohol. Child abuse. Mom is now accused of having physical and repeated emotional abuse. Mom is now found to have being engaged in domestic violence. Mom is now found to have committed assault. Mom is now found to have severe substance abuse with drugs, alcohol, and other issues. Mom is now found to be abusive, have engaged in abusive use of conflict and ongoing and deliberate actions of misuse of conduct. Mom has not seen the children in 3 years. And this was signed in December. Goes on to say that there shall be no contact with the minor children whatsoever.
Thank you.
I need to finish this.
We will have a second public comment later in the day.
Okay. Just so you know, Judge Stam signed this.
Good morning.
So, my name is Marie Redout. I am a resident of Richland. However, I have a lot of information regarding what's been going on. I did want to bring up that your administrative responsibilities as Benton County Commissioners does include
Benton County?
legislative, Benton and Franklin.
Okay.
I beg your pardon. Benton and Franklin counties, You're one of the 34 out of the 39 who have legislative authority. You have these obligations and you're ignoring them. And I find that incomprehensible. It's just overwhelming to me that I'm listening to the Benton County commissioners saying they're not going to help at all. You guys have started to say so, but then nothing's happened. So you do have, and I'm going to skip to just what I want at this point, because you already know that this is a commission style of government that you guys are doing, that you have to do. This is part of what your obligations are. Benton and Franklin County commissioners are serve as the primary governing body handling executive, legislative, and limited quasi-judicial roles under Washington State's commission form of government. This is our Washington Constitution. You can look that up, okay? You have obligations to that. Your advocacy as elected representatives, you must forward documented patterns of judicial bias, which you've heard, ethical breaches, the CJC Rule 211, due process violations, the Independent Commission on Judicial Conduct. That's stuff you need to be doing. Refusing, RCW 264, refusing to act despite this awareness, as Benton County explicitly done, and Franklin County has explicitly done, breaches their representative duty. So you swear that oath, you're supposed to uphold it, and you need to act. Inaction amid knowledge of harm is complicity. You guys, I'm asking right now, this is a request, and I will send you all of these requests in writing if I run out of time, and I do have the actions that fostered these. But the request is that you forward documented patterns of judicial bias, ethical breaches, and due process violations to the Independent Commission on Judicial Conduct under RCW 264. Refusing to act, you're complicit. It breaches what you need to have as a representation of your duties. Follow through with controlling funding for court-related services like supervised visitation programs. I've explained that last time, that that's exactly what happens to people. Somebody decides that you can't see your kids. There you go. Doesn't have to be a judge. You've got to enact and enforce local resolutions addressing county impacts, such as mandating police to investigate custodial interference, for example. Those are some of the reports that they won't take, saying that these are just civil. We're not going to even do this report. That's not the case. It's an RCW and it is enforceable by law. And even if they just do the report and send it up, that's important to have. And I don't have a refusal should not be. Okay, on this note, I will be sending you this list of requirements. I am asking that you respond to these within 30 days in writing. I will email you. If you don't want me to email it, I will drop it by your office.
Thank you. Anyone else in the room for public comment?
When people are under duress, they do search for the foundation of their laws. And I think that we are seeing an example of that. I want to update you on a couple of things. The Federal Partners Program was excellent. I took those to the COG. A lot of the commissioners there needed those, and I will be CCing Brian Danzel on the things that I sent to Mr. Eggman and Mr. Kurt. Can't say his name at the moment, but they will be getting that. I also responded to the survey on the back of the program. But today, they are correct. You are first line of legislators. The counties direct the state. We have to change the mindset and the system that we've been fed, because it's not appropriate, and that's why we're being run over constitutionally day after day after day. Every county has been contacted in this First Amendment petition I'm working on. I have had a conversation with the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Peace Officers, Mr. Kreider, and am pursuing a conversation with WAPA. And the plan is to bring multiple counties together. I see a potential of at least 28 to 32, and I did give that map earlier to y'all, that will come together, and you can hold the other counties to their constitutional responsibilities. The target is King County, even though it is a home rule county and a charter county. They cannot circumvent the Constitution. So the people in King County actually have standing that they cannot elect their sheriff already. The gentlemen running for sheriffs or already sheriffs are other people in good standing. So what I'm proposing is rolling out. It will be something that you can deputize an attorney to represent all of the parties. The people who vote also have standing under Amendment 14 of the U.S. Constitution. So this begins to grow as a groundswell of the people. They do not want to lose their sheriffs. They do not want to lose their guns. They do not want to lose their ability to elect their own people. And if you read Article 11, Section 5, it goes right down to precinct officers. The gentleman that you saw in the video that didn't go through it by email, I have sent by text, he has a constitutional county. There was one, now there's 4, and now there's 7. If we had had the process that he works on First Amendment petitions when we were fighting the mandates that took away our Bill of Rights under COVID, they have not only a resolution, an ordinance that if somebody tries to come in here and shut down some company in our county, it is punishable by a minimum of a year in jail and $20,000 per incident. The power of the sheriff is not the CEO of the county, but the enforcer of everything constitutional, federal, state, and county. He is a special agent. He really can't be anybody's friend. But it is a special position that this state is targeting because that's how they're going to take everything else and be socialists. They wear pins on the lapels in our legislature saying so. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else in the room for public comment?
So Brian Thornhill, sort of following up on the issues I've had, and I gave both of you a letter and I outlined it, one in pink and one in yellow. Mine's a lot more straightforward than what these issues. You guys have a lot of responsibilities, and I think you two have got into this for the right reason. You guys want to do things. I know you guys have honesty, integrity. That's your intent. And that's why I gave you the letter. And Mr. Didier this one would speak to you, the very first one, because I'm being questioned on different issues. But what it says is Mr. Baumann and Mr. Davis have presented these investigations. And so this is the investigation that he's talking about. And the first one talks about before Fire District 5, Franklin 5 was incorporated, City of Pasco came out and put out fires in Fire District 5. And the other fire districts did. So and that's directly to Mr. Didier, because he knows that didn't happen. That's a flat out lie. I mean, and that's what they're presenting, that these agencies came in and put out fires, and it just happened like it was in Benton 3 or Benton 4 where they had a fire in a residence, just happened 2 or 3 weeks ago, in a residence. The fire district responded, got to their boundary line, their jurisdiction line. The house is on fire right there. They had to let it burn. That's what happened in Franklin County. But in the letters to you guys, this investigations, they're saying, no, Pasco came out. Whenever you guys had a fire out there, they came out. So that's not true, right? That's a false lie. So that's what they're presenting. The other one was Franklin County Emergency Management, pursuant of their charter, is authorized to task and control any and all resources. So that's what they presented. That was presented to... And this was done by Mr. Gear, Chief Gear. So all this is being put back that I'm making all this stuff up and I'm creating all these incidents. Chief Gear brought this up back in the exercise in 2014. But when this came out, and that's what this came from, because Chief Gear questioned that. And they said, well, the reason that Franklin County Emergency Management can do these unlawful things is because they have a charter. So it was presented to the prosecuting of that attorney at that time. And they said, no, they do not have that authority. But then they just presented that. This information just came back to you guys. So two lies, two bold-faced lies. And so that's what I'm here for. I'm asking you guys to act on your honesty and integrity. And I believe you guys got into this because this is the lowest level we can start. Everybody's upset with the government at the higher levels, and we have to do this at the lowest level. And this is where I have to start. Is that these are lies, and the last time the previous time I was at the meetings, I discussed an issue with where Mr. Sant came down, and the information by a commissioner and Mr. Sant, most of it was not correct. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the room for public comment? Do we have anybody on the phone? Okay, hearing, seeing none. Moving on to approval of consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move for approval of consent agenda items 1 through 7 as presented.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. Moving on to regular business. Resolution 2026-131, honoring the life and legacy of Commissioner Robert Bob Cook, presented by Franklin County Board of Commissioners. Whereas Robert Bob Cook faithfully served the residents of Franklin County as county commissioner for 4 terms, totaling over 16 years of dedicated public service. Whereas Commissioner Cook devoted his career to improving the quality of life for the citizens of Franklin County through his leadership, integrity, and commitment to public service. And whereas throughout his tenure, Commissioner Cook played a vital role in significant county achievements, including infrastructure improvements, development of county facilities, advancement of public safety services, and strengthening of county operations. Whereas Commissioner Cook's service extended beyond Franklin County through his involvement with numerous state and national boards and committees, contributing to policy, transportation, emergency services, and regional collaboration efforts. Whereas prior to and during his public service, Commissioner Cook demonstrated unwavering dedication to his community as a small business owner, volunteer firefighter, fire chief, and Franklin County Fire Marshal. Whereas Commissioner Cook was recognized for his outstanding service and leadership, including being honored by the Washington State Everyday Hero and Connell Man of the Year. Whereas Commissioner Cook was known for his commitment to mentorship, collaboration across political lines, and his belief that public service is about serving constituents above all else. His legacy includes not only the projects he helped complete, but the lives he touched, the colleagues he guided, and the community he helped build. Now and therefore be it resolved that the Franklin County Board of Commissioners hereby honor and recognize the life, service, and legacy of Commissioner Robert E. Bob Cook. And be it further resolved that the board extends its deepest condolences to his family, friends, and all those lives who were impacted by his service, and that this resolution be entered into the official record of Franklin County as a lasting tribute to his contributions and dedication. Signed by all 3 county commissioners. Bob did a great job, and I know when I was first elected into office, he was one of the very few people that actually came and helped me get situated and be ready for the job. So we send our condolences to his family and thank him for his support. All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
if the other commissioners may say a word or two, and then if anybody in the public would like to say a word or two, I'd encourage that. But I'd just like to tell everybody that Commissioner Cook, when I first came and was elected, he was here, and I asked him twice if he would be chair, and he agreed to do that. And he helped me mentor. He was my mentor, becoming a commissioner and making sure things were done right. And when I asked him about running for chair, he says, "I don't think you're ready yet," and I believe he was right. It takes time and it takes years before you can be ready to be a chairman for this position. And it is a big responsibility that Bob took under his hat, and he was a very good soul. And would like to just give my condolences to the family and thank them for his ability to serve our county. And he was an influential guy on the crab board. He brought back a lot of money, as Mr. Erdman can testify to. He was very good at bringing money back to Franklin County. and forever grateful.
I didn't know Bob well, but certainly Franklin County owes a debt of gratitude to Commissioner Bob Cook and to his exemplary service for more than 16 years.
Is there anyone in the room that would accept this?
Is there anybody in the room, immediate family, that would accept this for Mr. Cook, or is there anybody in the room that would like to say a word about Commissioner Cook?
So, Bob Cook was a dear friend, a longtime friend of my family and my wife's family, and he's going to be deeply missed. A true depiction of his character was General Giant, and that's what Bob was, and he'll be dearly missed. If we could keep Melissa and Marcy and Connie in our prayers as they go through this time, that would be greatly appreciated. And I can accept that and deliver it to the family if you like.
I think that would be appropriate.
I know you're terribly tired of me, but my husband was on the ambulance call when Bob was burned. He treated him. And Bob, when he learned that I was married to Dawn, I went out to the PUD hearing when we were talking about the Snake River dams and handling some tough questions, some pushback because the orcas were so preeminent and all of the convoluted stuff about that. And Bob reached over and just held my hand. He steadied me. The other real interaction coming from Spokane to this community, we did a survey called We Believe We Vote that does it up in Spokane so that churches who want to be a house of worship can look to a source that they trust. And you and Bob came out dead even on that survey. I mean, you scored dead even. It was amazing. So I'm very pleased to hear that he reached out and mentored you, because it's a competition, but it's like iron sharpens iron. And I truly believe that if we continue to acknowledge and one another in our roles, continue to heal our community, we will be more powerful, more strong. And ultimately, that's what I want in my county more than anything else. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to make a comment? I think I would like to ask for 1 minute of silence and respect for Mr. Bob Cook. Thank you. Thank you. Again, just wanted to bring up the fact that our thoughts and prayers are with his family. So, and thank you again to him and his family for the service that he put forth for Franklin County. And with that, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution 2026-131, honoring the life and legacy of Commissioner Robert E. Bob Cook.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Commissioner Administrator updates.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much. Again, sorry I couldn't be there today in person. Most of last week, as you all know, was taken up mainly by the event that was held at the Hapo Center. We have gotten nothing but good response back on that, by the way. So there was very many different entities represented throughout the entire region that were there. And then, as you all know, I came down with a pretty horrendous ailment here. So I haven't really been too engaged this week, so I want to just point out how great of a job Clerk of the Board, Teresa Alvarez, Legal Counsel, Jeffrey Briggs, all the folks, Genesis, are step up when somebody falls down. Just a big thank you to all of them.
All right, thank you, Mr. Danzel. Moving on, Commissioner Baumann.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Had, as our administrator identified, had lots of meetings and work for preparing for the Federal Partners Coalition last week. And then we had that Rural Prosperity Summit, and just want to extend appreciation to everybody that was a part of that, especially to our three sponsors, the Benton Franklin Council of Governments, the Port of Pasco, and TRIDEC for assisting with the expenses with that. And then wanted to say that David Matthews asked that I extend appreciation on his behalf. He's the Rural Development Director that came out of Washington, D.C., and I heard him do the debrief with his team that was here after the event, and his instruction was to them to use that as a template as they go across the United States with the additional meetings that they're going to have of this type. And so just want to extend appreciation to you, commissioners, and all the staff at the Hapo Center, to Brian, Teresa, Jen, and everybody that was a part of making that a very successful event. Just thank you so much. I went to the TRIDEC's 63rd annual meeting and reception, and then I went to the first of 4 meetings that the city of Pasco is having on the LRA housing, the less restrictive access housing, that is the process wherewith level 3 sex offenders can be put in housing within our communities. The city of Pasco has passed a moratorium on that, and they're having some public meetings. And I was profoundly, profoundly disappointed last night at the apathy and the lack of interest in the community. There was outrage whenever there was one happening, but now in the process of trying to identify what is the proper process in the city of Pasco to go, I believe that there was 3 people from the public there last night. And that is profoundly disappointing to me. There will be additional meetings. There's a meeting on April the 15th at 4:30 at Ray Reynolds Middle School. There's another one on April the 29th at 4:30 at McLaughlin Middle School. And then the 4th and final meeting will be May the 6th at 12 p.m. at Pasco City Hall. And the civic process yesterday was not very much on display, but for those that have concern about the less restrictive access housing that has the potential of going in our communities and what rules and regulations potentially could surround them, would certainly encourage people to get involved in those meetings, let your voice be heard, and so that we can put together a robust and complete answer from the community level. We cannot prevent them. The state has made that clear. However, we can help shape what that would look like in our communities and would ask people to get involved. And with that, Mr. Chairman, that's my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Didier.
Yes, so last week had the Columbia Basin River Columbia Basin Rivers Counties Caucus meeting, Hanford Communities, WorkSource, and then I would like to bring up a couple of the public comments here as far as the display for the junior posse. I would think that would be great for our county to display that. I think it's something that if it's not current, needs to be current. We need to give these kids every opportunity to participate in something so that it keeps them out of trouble. Activity is the best policy. As far as the families, these judges are elected. Yes, we have constitutional rights as county commissioners, and we're trying to exercise those. We've got a lot of things on our plate right now. But these judges, you're doing a great job bringing it before us. We're going to work with you. We've instructed our council here to be looking into this, what we can do. But you need to bring those judges to accountability, just like you're doing here. You need to do it every form, every advantage you got, or wherever you can get in front of a mic. That's how you're going to change this policy. And we have to be active as citizens. The citizens of this country are its government, if we choose to be. When we sit idly by and let things go on like they are, it continually gets worse. And that's what I'm going to bring up next is the Capitol Press. Now, this has nothing to do, but one other thing I want to thank is Brian Danzel, our administrator. He's only been here a year, but he brought this Federal Partners Coalition together. These are all people he knows from the federal government when he served. He brought him in here, put this thing on in Franklin County. It's one of what across the United States, 3 or 4? He brought him here to Franklin County. This guy is instrumental in Franklin County turning around right now as a county on the move. And so we are going to be looking into that. But as far as the King Ranch, judge is ruling. Rancher has no clear right to a jury trial. This judge, and I don't know how to pronounce her last name, I think it's Gigaliti, she is saying that Grant County Superior Court denied King's motion for a preliminary injunction halting proceedings by the Pollution Control Hearing Board, a 3-member panel appointed by the governor. They want this 3-member panel to make the decision on the King Ranch on these wetlands. We need the King's Ranch to have a jury trial of its peers. This is how they're doing it. They put their cronies in place, and then they make the determination in the law. If you don't get the Capitol Press, please pick one up. Get one. There's just incredible articles in here. Blue states rip EPA's compliance first approach. The EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, is a federal organization, is trying to tell people who are out of compliance, hey, here's where you're going wrong, get it in place. These blue states, we're included in one of the blue states, they're suing. 13 attorney generals claim the memo puts the interests of businesses over the environment and public health. Without strong enforcement, industries have little incentive to comply with laws, the attorney generals allege from these states. So they just want the heavy hand of government to come down with a fine. And that's what they've done here to King's Ranch. They were fined $257,000 in 2022. And they levy a fine every year against the King Ranch, putting them out of business, just like the farmer up at Spokane they're going after. Third article here in the Capitol Press. USDA sued over America First grant policy. Oregon, Washington, and 18 other blue states sued the USDA, claiming they could lose billions of dollars under the agency's new conditions for awarding grants. And at the bottom of this, who is the head of the EPA? It's Rollins, Brooke Rollins. Rollins telegraphed the agenda last year by canceling a $600,000 study on menstrual cycles in transgender men. $600,000 for menstrual cycles in transgender men and a $397,000 grant to educate queer, trans, and BIPOC urban farmers. This is what your money's going to, and this is what this administration's trying to stop. We got to support them. We the people We need to stand up, and we need to make our government accountable here locally, in the state and the feds. Thank you. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. So first, I'd just like to say thank you to Mr. Danzel, Commissioner Baumann, and the staff for putting on the USDA summit here in Franklin County. It was a great success, and I have heard nothing but positive comments from it. Also, last week had the TRIDEC meeting. And then also just want to bring up, along with the wire theft that we've been experiencing in Franklin County, cattle thefts are up too, and they're stealing baby calves. And it's a difficult procedure trying to catch people in the act of that. But if you do see some activity that looks abnormal, I mean, baby calves are somewhat easy to steal the first 3 days of life, but after that they get a little faster and you can't catch them. But should be nobody out there that you don't recognize trying to catch baby calves and stealing them. But it's going on, and it's getting to the point to where it's not one isolated incident, put it that way. So please keep your eyes aware, and if you see any suspicious activity, please contact the Sheriff's Department. Appreciate that. And with that, that concludes my report. Moving on, correspondence. Mr. Danzel, do we have any correspondence this week?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Only correspondence that would be found in your binder. If there's none other, then there's nothing that I have to pass along at this time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Public comment. Is there anyone in the room for public comment? Please come forward.
Yeah, I'd like to follow up on the commentary earlier by Jackie Stam. It's interesting to me that I just discovered Tri-City Herald put out an article a few weeks back at the fact that Jackie Stam is asking $2.5 million from you guys in retaliation for pulling out the juvenile program she's got going on. So I find it really interesting, and I imagine if we did some research, we'd find a lot more families where she's intentionally removing boys, teenage boys, from stable families so that she can essentially prepare them to go into her own system. Because that's what I'm hearing when I hear her get up here and say, oh, we need to fund juvenile programs, while at the same time signing parenting plan orders that are completely illegal and remove children from safe homes and put them back in the care of people who are documented as being abusive. So anyway, all that to say, I actually commend you guys for doing what you're doing. And I hope that you guys will continue to advocate for the rights of families and for our communities, because we do need to stand together. We do need to have a voice. So if there's anything more that us families can do to help with this, we would love to know, because this shouldn't be allowed. We shouldn't be allowing judges to rip apart families to fund their own programs. Thanks.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you to Commissioners and Brian Denzel for giving us the opportunity to come here and take this time and bring these concerns to your attention and to the community's attention. I also want to invite every single one of the members of the community that are here today to please bring your family, bring your friends. There are a lot more families out there that are being struggling, losing kids, and these judges signing orders wherein there's clear evidence of abuse and sexual assault, and none of this is looking into. You've seen the judges, they've showed up only when it benefits them, when funding is discussed. Why don't they show up to speak why they're doing this to our families? Why don't they do a town hall, and maybe if there's something that we're not understanding, that we're not seeing from their perspective, I'm more than open to come in as a domestic violence survivor. I have offered my time to domestic violence services. I am aware that they get money funding from taxpayers to fund their programs. Not once in the last 5 years have they reached out to me to come in and give them a class to the women. I've offered to teach them how to use their skills to start a business, to get out of being just a number for domestic violence. I want them to thrive. I want them to be someone and to contribute to this economy. But we can't have that if they're just numbers for someone to continue to get funding. I've never gotten the opportunity to do that. I would love to do that. And I'm not here asking for funds to do it. I would do it just because I love the people in this community. So please, I thank you for your time. Thank you for everything you're doing. I know that you guys have a lot of things to do. Please let us know if there's any other places we can go to bring awareness to this issue. This needs to stop. And I do understand, I think there has been a lot of ignorance from a lot of people in this community for a very long time voting for family and friends. And that's what we're seeing right now, that we're putting family and friends into positions that are harming our families. But I am here to let the community know what they're doing to families is not okay. And I do plan on wrapping a whole box truck to let the community know that. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else in the room for public comment?
Only because I did not get a chance to finish the request, and I think I finished off where I was requesting that support for the court to go over where you're having supervised visitations being halted, separation from a visitation, supervised visitation for a 2-month period, just in the only recourse is to go back into court. That can be changed immediately. First of all, supervised visitations can only be stopped when there's a child safety issue, nothing else. The other thing is I wanted to finish the request for having the attorney, Hales Davenport, referred to the bar for her conduct. And also, we also know all about Judge Rodriguez. That needs to go into for the review for judicial. And then also just yesterday, Judge David Peterson, presiding over a case for revision to the modification for your child support based on new circumstances. Somebody's job's gone, okay? Job's gone, you're on PFMLA, okay? Documented for 2 months that that's where you've been. You go in and then you face Carrie saying, well, we only know you probably got, you're terminated from your job because you abused your coworkers. Where'd that come from? Pro se, respondent, objected. Judge Peterson doubled down, didn't acknowledge that that was out of line. Instead, he said, yeah, probably. We don't know that you didn't do that. You probably abused your coworkers. The respondent has never been arrested. There's no charges pending. There's nothing about abuse to her kids, to her coworkers, nothing. That's about as likely as Judge Peterson growing wings and flying off with swine. It's not in the realm. And it did not need to be brought up in open court. The other process they're asking for is for her to disclose medical information in open court. That's not okay. There's HIPAA protection for that. And because she didn't want to do that, they're trying to say she's in contempt for not providing the information and did subpoenas to the employer. They want all personnel files now. That goes beyond the scope of a revision of child support, way beyond. Those guys need to go in. I want that done as well, to send over those reviews. Again, I'll send over an email of the request. I do want a written response of either you've looked into it and you're not going to assist and why, or that you will. And trust me, Commissioner Didier, I've already got appointments. I've sent off emails to our local mayors. I will be at the council meetings. The voices are coming because I am gutted over the stuff that I see happening out there, and it has exponentially worsened. And you guys know this. You know your responsibility, and I applaud you for acknowledging that you do have that responsibility. I really do. I'm so disappointed in Benton County. And so here in Franklin County, I understand we have a little bit of traction with you. The traction is going to build through the council meetings as well, and our legislators, because it will go up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry for having to break comments over 2 periods. One of the things I definitely hope that we're looking into is whether the laws these judges are having to administer are coming from our state and they're unconstitutional. That's kind of a repeating cycle with me, but I think it's very basic to our ability to operate as a society. And I don't know why I'm not hearing about reconciliation services. These are specialized counselors that are trauma-informed, that help bring children together to work with parents that are abusive and work that out, whether they can be around each other And I have a personal experience up in Spokane where I'm seeing that exercise, and so I'd really encourage that to be researched and why I'm not hearing about that with these ladies. My other comment is there are 2 programs from the federal partners that I really want Franklin County to look into if you aren't already, and that is the grant pilot program. It's $100 a month. It searches for grants. You put something into your dashboard, searches for 76,000 federal grants, 136,000 foundational grants, 1,000 state grants for what you need. And it helps you write the grant with the proper verbiage, which is a lot of the problems that kind of spurned this whole partners thing, is that our rural people don't know how to fill out these applications. They don't speak the governmentese, and that's part of why they had that partnership. And so that is something I think it would pay for itself. I would hope somebody under our economic advisor like Wes could exercise that, because that could bring a lot of funds while we're tight that we could surely use, and I would really like to see that. Grant pilot, I will pass the information on to you as soon as possible if you didn't get to see that. The other one was the opportunity zones. Those are for people who have lots of capital and they're about to pay 30% taxes, or instead in an incentive program, they can go to an opportunity zone that is already censused out. Yes, the governor has some say, but there's a county that was at the COG that says, I have a gold mine, I can't mine because I can't get the permits. And you can write your own opportunity zone program for that, for them to invest. And the more they invest in a rural, they're in 5, 7, and 10 years, there's less of a requirement to pay that tax. So it's literally money out there ready to invest. We could do it with our port here in Pasco. This is an amazing opportunity. And I'm going to be pushing that out to the people in the COG that didn't get to come, our neighbors, so that they have the same information we do. Those are the 2 biggest opportunities I saw there that are incredibly powerful. And of course, without the Snake River dams, which will now be coming back under major attack, we cannot get those. So I think it's going to take the USDA, Department of Energy, Department of Wildlife to do the God Squad. Ask Governor Little to pull it, or maybe the governor from Montana, because a governor can call for that other than the Congress. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the room for public comment?
I don't like speaking in front of people. I've been incredibly traumatized by the Benton County court system by doing this, so this is really hard for me. But listening to all these other people come up, part of it is standing up for a lot of my case too. My ex-husband, I've had a domestic violence protection order against since 2023. He started withholding my children from me against our parenting plan in April of last year. He got held in contempt, and the minute he got held in contempt, Carrie Hales Davenport came on board and said he was doing it because I was abusing my children. In the last 5 years, they've been with me. Nothing has ever been reported. Nothing has, in fact, my ex-husband currently has a domestic violence assault charge pending trial. That's been pending trial for over a year. How is that possible? He assaulted this person in 2024, and he has an attorney, a criminal defense attorney, that has been pushing it out. How is that possible? And they gave him my children based on his false allegations. No proof. In fact, I went through a CPS investigation and police investigation. All those cases were closed and labeled unfounded. And the commissioner still took my children and gave them to somebody who has a current DV assault charge. He also has several domestic violence issues that have been documented by police. I've had the police tell me to go and get my own protection order and get my kids on it, and the judges took my children off. I worked for a medical facility that shut down and sent a K-9 unit and KBD or Richland police to me because my ex kept calling them. And they diverted patients away, and he has my children. And this has been going on, and I'm getting killed in court because no attorney will take me, because nobody wants to go against Carrie Hales Davenport, because all she does is file several motions at a time to inundate, and I've been told this by 3 other attorneys in the community. They've never had any other cases that have had over 100 declarations or motions, other than if it's against her. They won't take the case. So I'm left stuck trying to do this on my own, and I'm getting killed by these commissioners and these judges. And my children are with somebody who's unsafe. He was actually the truck that went and rolled coal, is what the police report says, over at that Kamayakin High School, what was it, the protest, that ICE protest. He was the truck that stopped, slowed down, rolled coal, was flipping off those kids, and took off and hit that white car that was turning. My children were in the car at that time, too. They were involved in the accident. And according to Carrie Hells Davenport, when I reached out, when I found out that was him, I asked if my children were involved, if they were in the car with him. And her only response was, the children were in the vehicle. They were looked at by medical on scene. They were not taken to the hospital, but the other person was. They still have my children. My children are witnessing this. And I have actually asked for reunification. I have heard of that. And I did. And the judge said no, just so you know. The commissioner told me no. So anyways, I really appreciate you guys and what I'm hearing happening here. And I will try to keep coming as much as I can with them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the room for public comment?
I wasn't going to speak either. Sorry. Good morning. My name is Paris Windsor. My 4-year-old son was also taken from me because of a domestic violence false accusation. It's been very traumatizing for me, the family court system. But obviously there's more people than just me happening. Something needs to change. There needs to be regulations on the DV. I offered my son's dad 4 different times to create a parenting plan outside of court. He went in with domestic violence allegations, saying I was withholding the child. That's not true. I tried to tell the judge that. She didn't want to hear me because I was representing myself. He did have an attorney, so that is my fault. I understand how it could be confusing speaking to legal people, not knowing legal words. But this is happening to our community, to people all over the United States. This is not right. Something needs to change. I understand that you guys have a huge range of responsibilities, but this is the upcoming community, the children. We need to protect our children. I'm speaking for a child that cannot speak for himself. This is not okay. Something needs to change. Our rights are getting taken away from us. These are our children. Something that I birthed from my body, somebody can take it, take my rights away from me. That's not okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
My issues don't seem as big when people are dealing with stuff like this. But again, to sort of clarify, again, I'm not very good at speaking either, but to clarify, at the lowest level, I brought some issues to you that are straightforward, that the truth was not told. So honesty and integrity, that's all I'm asking from you guys. That if something is said that you know is not truthful, I believe it's your responsibility to say, hey, why are we doing this? Why are we saying stuff that is not truthful? And I gave you two examples. So, and actually, and there's these investigations, the only 2 that I got, there's probably 20 false information. It's just false and misleading information. I didn't want to bring everything to you because it would take forever, but those are 2 straightforward issues. So that's all I'm asking for. At the lowest level, if somebody is saying something that's not truthful, you guys shouldn't push it through because your guys' names were on that letter that went to me that are saying that this information is correct. So you guys are approving information that I'm telling you is false, and you can see it's false. The other thing that happened when Mr. Sant ran his ass down here that one day, just to give the reference of when that happened, Mr. Bauman made a comment that I was harassing a Franklin County Franklin County employee. but we had a pretty good discussion at a meeting one day, and you're saying Franklin County Emergency Management are not employees of Franklin County. Is that correct? I mean, they are not. That's what you guys stated. And I was an employee of Franklin County Emergency Management. I was not an employee of Franklin County. So that was a false statement, and that I'm harassing somebody, and I'm not harassing anyone. The other thing that Mr. Baumann said is that I have to write a written, I want him to write a written apology. I'm requiring him or telling him to write a written apology. Never said that. Never, ever said that. So I think those are things you guys need to control. When you guys, and I know it's going to be hard to judge on what's been said and not said, but I'm going to be bringing that stuff to you. If I keep getting the stuff that's false and misleading and it's directed at me, I'm going to come back to you, and I guess that's my expectation, is that you guys to honor your own honesty and integrity. And if there are issues, you guys need to take care of that or discuss it. I know you can't control him, but there's 3 commissioners, and if you guys, like the 2 issues I brought up originally, if you know they're false, you guys should address that. I shouldn't keep getting attacked because I'm going after the safety from Fire District 5. And so that's all I'm after. Honesty and integrity. I think that's why you guys are probably in this position. You at the lowest level, and you want to bring that up into the higher levels. So.
All right, thank you. Anyone else in the room for public comment? Anyone on the phone? Okay. Do we have a need for executive session today?
Yes, for 5 minutes under 4231.10(1)(I) litigation. We'll need myself, the board, the clerk of the board. I guess we can have Mr. Danzel available by phone, Ms. Lloyd from my office, and then if Mr. McCart could stay as well from our Planning and Economic Development office.
All right. So at this point, we'll go into executive session.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Before we go into executive session, Mr. Danzel, are you able to hear us?
Yes, sir.
Do we need to take action on this permission to hire a building inspector 1, grade 15, step 4 today?
I think I appreciate bringing that up. That's from Wes McCart. I think you do need to, or it would be prudent to take action on that today, as there's a need for it.
So, Mr.
Yes, that's a correspondence. So thank you for bringing that up. I apologize for the oversight.
So, Mr. Chairman, I amend the agenda to include the petition or the permission to hire building inspector 1, grade 15, step 4 for planning and economic development.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we give Wes McCart, our planning and economic development director, the authority and the permission to hire a building inspector 1 at grade 15, step 4.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. So with that, we'll go into executive session for 5 minutes under the RCW code stated by Mr. Briggs, for 5 minutes. Thank you.
2 weeks, we're gonna have a workshop.
Okay.
I just had a comment about the junior posse. I'm all for doing a display. I just don't know if they want, are they asking for permanent or just, you know, to display for a few months?
That's why I brought it up.
Okay, we've come out of executive session with no decisions being made. Is there any other business for the good of the county?
I was just going to make a comment, Mr. Chairman. The comments that were made about a junior posse display, I would be all for that, like Commissioner Didier. It'd be good to know a little bit more what they got in mind. Was their request for a permanent display, or is it for, you know, a period of months? Didn't know, but would love to, know a little bit more, and certainly agree that we need to empower our youth in every way that we can.
Thank you. Any other business for the good of the county? Hearing, seeing none, this meeting is adjourned.